Beechcroft #1, baby.
This is the Cougar News.
We're here to celebrate Black History Month on this last day of Black History Month. We have our choir here representing, we have students representing and speaking, we have people from the community that have been in different fraternities and sororities. And so we need to give them your undivided attention, folks, because again, Black is excellent. Black is excellent. So what we need to do is the Cougar Code of Peace, Pride, and Progress, okay? All right.
Welcome to the Beechcroft High School 2023 Black History Program. It is my esteemed pleasure to introduce our moderators, the Honorable Thurgood Marshall and Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. Justice Marshall, an influential leader of the civil rights movement, whose tremendous legacy lives on in the pursuit of racial justice. Justice Marshall is the first Black U.S. Supreme Court Justice, and he founded the Legal Defense Fund in 1940. Justice Marshall is the architect of the legal strategy that ended the country's official policy of segregation. Civil rights and social change came about through diligent and persistent litigation efforts, at the forefront of which stood Thurgood Marshall and the Legal Defense Fund. Through the courts, he ensured that Black people enjoyed the rights and responsibilities of full citizenship. Our second moderator is Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. Congresswoman Chisholm is the first Black woman in Congress and the first woman and African American to seek the nomination for President of the United States. Her motto, "Unbalked and Unbossed," illustrates her outspoken advocacy for women and minorities during her 7 terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. Please help me welcome Congresswoman Chisholm and Justice Marshall to the stage with a round of applause.
It is my pleasure to share the stage with you today, Shirley. I am excited about this year's Black History program, the history and impact of HBCUs. Did you know that I am a proud alumni of Howard University, along with our Vice President Kamala Harris, Chadwick Boseman, and our own Dr. Johnson?
I did know that you are an alumni of Howard University, and I believe you are also a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Today's program will pay homage to historical Black colleges and universities and the Divine Nine, which includes the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. HBCUs are instrumental in the long and ongoing Black struggle. HBCUs took on the lion's share of guiding the freedom from slavery to freedom and provided intellectual homes for displaced Harlem Renaissance personalities like the Johnson brothers and Hurston, who taught at these institutions.
Yes, the first HBCUs were founded in Pennsylvania and Ohio before the American Civil War, with the purpose of providing Black youths who were prevented due to racial discrimination from attending private white institutions with a basic education and training to become teachers or tradesmen. HBCUs educated the nation's returning Black veterans on the GI Bill and provided their students as foot soldiers for the nonviolent revolution revolution known as the modern civil rights movement.
In 1837, Chenault University of Pennsylvania opened as the Institute for Colored Youth on a farm in Philadelphia. Lincoln University, located near Philadelphia, was founded in 1866 in honor of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln.
The oldest private HBCU, Wilberforce University, was founded in 1856 and is located here in Ohio as a coeducational institution for blacks who had escaped slavery in the South through the Underground Railroad.
Today we are fortunate to have a few alumni from HBCUs here repping their college gear. Before we have them come out, let's take a quick look at some of the things you will experience as a student at an HBCU.
This is the dream, grown young. The dream so bravely tended. Through a century of fears, through the years of working, praying, striving, learning, the dream become a beacon, brightly burning.
Black colleges are spaces where Black people are affirmed.
You could be yourself and develop yourself in this rich soil.
It's a space that is an unapologetic Black space.
These are places where there's incredible freedom to explore.
We wanted to better ourselves. We wanted to have an institution where people like us all wanted to be more than the status quo.
The question for African Americans has always been, what is education's purpose? Who controls it? And what is the relationship of education to the broader aspirations of our people?
Did you know that for more than 100 years, Lift Every Voice and Sing has been a part of the Black college experience? Every historically Black college and university graduate has heard it, at football games, at convocations, and at commencement. Most of us have sung it. Some of us still know it, if only its first stanza.
I did not know that. We have a special treat today. Our own Dr. Johnson will be singing Lift Every Voice and Sing with the Beechcroft Choir. Please stand and join Dr. Johnson and the choir as we sing the Black National Anthem.
emphasis of the college I attended.
Yes, Shirley. Hearing that song at events was one of the things I enjoyed as a student at Howard University.
We have another special treat. Jessica Fayewa Ditteran, a Beechcroft senior, will be performing Rita Dove's American Smooth poem. Help me welcome Fayewa to the stage.
Hello everyone. American Smooth was written by Rita Dove, who is an important African-American poet. So yeah, without further ado. American Smooth by Rita Dove. We were dancing. It must have been a foxtrot or a waltz. Something romantic, but requiring restraint. Rise and fall. Precise execution as we move to the next song, without stopping. Two chests, heaving above a 7-league stride, such perfect agony one learns to smile through. Ecstatic mimicry being the sine qua non of American Smooth. And because I was distracted by the effort of keeping my frame, the leftward lean, head turned just enough to gaze out past your ear, and always smiling, smiling. I didn't notice how still you'd become until we had done it for 2 measures, 4, achieved flight. That swift and serene magnificence before the earth remembered who we were and brought us down.
That was a great performance. Let's give Fayewa another round of applause.
In the early 19,000s, the inclusion of African Americans in universities proved to be a trying time for Black students, often ostracized and banned from joining many social organizations. Because of that, Black students began searching for ways to cope with these struggles and started their own social organizations such as fraternities and sororities.
Alpha Phi Alpha was the first successful fraternity to sustain its membership and expand. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Inc. was initially started as a study and support group for the Black male students at Cornell University who were facing harsh racial prejudice at the time. The study group served as their decompression from the struggles they faced.
Following in the footsteps of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, 8 other intercollegiate fraternities and sororities were founded on the similar principles of service and the betterment of Black men and women. Alpha Kappa Alpha paved the way for sororities in 1908 when they were founded at Howard University. Kappa Alpha Psi was founded in Indiana for similar reasons to Alpha Phi Alpha. Racial tension and prejudices on campus led them to create their fraternity as well.
Omega Psi Phi was the first of the Divine 9 fraternities to be founded on the HBCU's campus at Howard. Delta Sigma Theta's beginnings were strongly influenced by the women's suffrage movement. The most recent of the Divine 9 organizations, Iota Phi Theta, was a product of the civil rights movement, and they were very influential in shaping the political landscape of Baltimore after they were founded.
One thing that the Black fraternities and sororities are known for is their step shows. Did you know that South Africa gumboot dance is said to be the biggest influencer of stepping?
Yes, it also has influenced drill teams as well. It is a call and response dance used to uplift audiences and was a way of communicating when South Africans were working in the mines when they were forbidden to talk. Let's take a quick look at gumboot dance and Divine 9 step.
Absoluta! 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 JG, you hit me with the magic.
Don't never stop if you wanna be on top, yeah. I go on and on.
Tap, tap, tap in.
I must have superpowers.
Tap, tap, tap in.
Get a calculator, do the math. I made it.
Tap, tap, tap in.
And for the last 300 months, I made
tap, tap, tap in.
Surely today we are fortunate to have a few members of the Divine Nine with us. Let's welcome them and our dancer, Aaliyah Perry, with a round of applause.
them all another round of applause.
There is so much rich history made by students who attended both HBCUs and students who attended private white institutions that most people don't even realize.
Yes, like Jesse Owens, who attended the Ohio State University. Let's try to imagine how nervous he must have been for a young African-American track and field star entering a crowded track and field stadium at OSU with both supporters and opponents, both on the field and in the bleachers.
I'm sure he mustered all the courage he had and walked proudly into the stadium with his teammates and coaches despite the tension.
This is it, guys. The moment we've all been waiting. Let's show these folks from Ohio State that we made it. I'll do my best. My teammates pushing. What is that? Hey, you! Get off the field! You don't belong here! No! I won't let her win. Wrong. This isn't just for me. It's for all of us. We won this together. Jesse, 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 Jesse.
As Black people, we have had to endure much suffering, but have learned when people go low, we go high.
Yes, like the students at North Carolina AT and T, who endured hostility when they fought for the right to be served at the Woolworth department store lunch counter. Let's try to imagine how anxious they must have been when they entered the store and sat down at that lunch counter to peacefully protest the store's segregation policies. Overcome, the song that the choir just beautifully sung was originally a gospel song that later became a protest song and key anthem of the American Civil Rights Movement.
No, I did not know that. Was it sung often?
In fact, it was. We Shall Overcome was the song performed at many political sit-ins, protests, and more, which oftentimes would stem from HBCU campuses. Students of color would use their strong HBCU committees to help spread awareness and fight against systematic discrimination. The story of HBCUs was often reflected in racial injustices that blacks face at the hands of many whites. And the campuses of HBCUs were often the starting point for social change demands. Members of these colleges often led nonviolent sit-ins, protests, and boycotts to demand equal rights and risk their lives to change racist policies.
Wow. I wish we would have made strides against social injustices at Brooklyn College, a non-HBCU, while I was there.
Almost all students at HBCUs would take part in fighting injustices that specifically the Greek organizations of HBCUs have and are still very active in social justice. For more than a century, Black Greek roles in social justice movements have spanned from standing on the front lines of protests to experiencing the invisible torture of treacherous public policy negotiations. The Divine Nine has also been heavily involved in several social justice movements, such as the women's suffrage, civil rights movement, and Black Lives Matter. These organizations have made significant strides to help unite Black communities across the U.S. to continue to collectively organize to serve various social causes.
There are various members of the Divine Nine who have started, conserved, and forefronted social justice movements. Some of these members include Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., W.E.B. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, Maya Angelou, Rosa Parks, Colin Kaepernick, Steve Harvey, Langston Hughes, Michael Jordan, Jesse Owens, Shaquille O'Neal, Kamala Harris, and many others.
Wow, I did not realize that there were that many members of the Divine Nine who have been involved and at the front of social justice issues.
Martin Luther King Jr. was the face of one of the biggest movements towards social justice and was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. Colin Kaepernick, a past member of the NFL and a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, made a stride against Black oppression on national television. Today, we see our own Vice President Kamala Harris, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, fighting to make the double system of justice more equal.
That's amazing. There are so many people who have stood up against the oppression of the Black community. This reminds me of how we have people of color supporting us all the way up to the Vice President and the Supreme Court. Ketanji Brown Jackson is a member of the U.S. Supreme Court, a member who has made history being the first Black woman and the first formal federal public defender to serve on the Supreme Court. Ketanji uses her position in order to fight for fair treatment and social justice for all communities. Ketanji often visits her alma mater, Harvard University, to speak to the current law students.
Your Honor, it's a privilege to have you here at Harvard University. Today we are here to talk about your journey as a Supreme Court Justice, your experiences and insights with jurors, and your vision for the future of the legal system.
I am happy to share my thoughts with you with the students of Harvard.
Before I begin, I'd like to ask you about your journey to become a Supreme Court Justice. Can you tell the challenges and obstacles you faced on the way?
Like many people, I faced many challenges and obstacles on the way. But I believe every challenge is the room for a social way. My journey to becoming a Supreme Court Justice was not easy. I faced discrimination, bias, and many other hurdles, but I never gave up on my dreams.
That's inspiring, Your Honor. Can you tell us about some cases you heard about serving Supreme Court?
There have been many cases that have challenged me in testing my legal acumen. One of the most memorable cases was about voting rights and the constitutionality of certain voting laws. It was a complex case that required me to consider the principles of democracy and the protection of individual rights.
I did push that case.
I approached that case in all cases with an open mind, a full understanding believe that the legal system should be accessible to everyone, and that every person should have the right to a fair and impartial trial.
Thank you, Your Honor, for sharing your journey, experiences, and vision with us today. The students and I are honored to have you here at Harvard.
It is amazing to see that a black woman has finally made her way up to the Supreme Court and is still able to inspire students with speaking out Harvard law. As a black woman, it is clear that Ketanji had to fight against discrimination, bias, and more before she was able to reach her dream. This is a reminder to never give up, but rather push harder to achieve your goals. Don't let the words of others push you down. Thirdly, have you ever heard of the Women's Political Council?
I have heard a little bit about them, but could you please tell me more?
Of course. The Women's Political Council, or the WPC, of Montgomery, Alabama, was established in 1949 by Mary Fair Burks. The WPC chapter was made up of middle-class professionals, most of whom were educators and taught at the all-black or HBCU, Alabama State College, or in the city's public schools. By 1955, not even 10 years after the group was founded, WPC counted over 200 members in 3 neighborhood chapters. WPC was founded on the basis to inspire African Americans to live above mediocrity, to elevate their thinking, and in general, to improve their status as a group. The WPC sought to increase the political leverage of the black community by promoting civic involvement, increasing voter registration, and lobbying city officials to address racist policies.
Wow. It seems like the group has helped many African Americans get involved with using their voice in government. What else have they done?
The group's work expanded to include public protests in 1955, when it helped initiate the Montgomery bus boycott, the event that brought Martin Luther King and the civil rights struggle into the national spotlight. The WPC had been planning for a citywide boycott of buses long before the historic boycott of 1955. In 1953, the WPC approached Montgomery City Commissioners about unfair practices, such as having African Americans enter through the back of the bus after paying their fare up front. The WPC's concerns were constantly dismissed by city commissioners. Women like Claudette Colvin, Rosa Parks, and Georgia Gilmore knew they had to stick together in order to make history.
The WPC played a major role in the bus boycott, helping African Americans become civically engaged, managing a boycott and bringing together a community that needed each other to fight the long, hard battle of racism.
Yeah, this was an amazing group that helped with the black community in so many ways.
Thank you for coming to the Beechcroft High School 2023 Black History Mural. Let's give a special round of applause for all